Hi everyone. Well, the time has come and I am announcing that we definitely will be doing a new series for Mixed Media Morsels in 2025. And I will tell you about what it is and what we'll be doing in just a little bit. First of all, I wanted to show you this is the journal that I'm going to be using to create my little morsels in. As I typically do, I have put some little kits together in my Etsy store so that we can make these little journals. Now, you absolutely do not need to buy my kit in order to make a journal or get a journal and play along with us all year long. You can do whatever you'd like to do. This is just for convenience and for those of you who want a journal that looks just like this one. I have a little instructional video that I'm going to play right now to show you how you can put one of these together and get ready for January 15th when we will begin. So to start this journal, I'm using a piece of file folder, and I used it so that I could use the section in the middle of the file folder that's scored right there. And if you fold it on the outside lines, you get just the right size spine, which is 3/4 of an inch. So it's roughly 8 3/4 inches wide by 6 1/4 inches tall. Now we're also going to have 2 inside inserts, and those will fit on each one of these panels, and they are 3 7/8 wide by 6 1/4 tall. And then we will also need a spine insert, and this is to go right in the center here of the spine, and it's to make it really nice and durable. So I didn't write a measurement on this because it's kind of obvious it's going to be the same 6 1/4 inches tall. It's not going to be quite 3/4 of an inch because it needs to be able to lay here or be glued here. And you need to be able to have room for both of these sides to fold up. So if you made this 3/4 of an inch, these would not fold up. So my suggestion would be to just cut a piece of, if you have chipboard, use that, or use a cereal box or a cracker box or anything you have handy that's a little bit more sturdy, and cut it at 3/4 of an inch wide. And then you can just trim it down to fit inside there. There's a measurement. It's like 23/32 of an inch. And so to me, that's so crazy that I decided, not to really put it down as such, but just to tell you to cut it about 3/4 of an inch, and then you're going to need to trim it off a little bit and just trim it just enough to make it fit in there and be able to fold your sides in. So that's pretty simple there. And if you need to take a screenshot of these measurements, here they are. Let me scoot it down a little bit. So we're going to just glue this together real quick. I'm just going to use this tacky glue, and I'm just putting it all along. I should have done this on the other side because I wrote on that side, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to use this one right now because I do have one that I've already glued together and dried, so it doesn't really matter. But these are going to go inside that spine area. Sometimes I will, like I did on this one, sometimes I will cut them. I will deliberately cut pieces just a tad longer, and then I'll trim them off. And that way I know I'm getting it the right length. So there's my spine insert. Okay, and then these are going to go on the inside. And all of this is going to get covered up with your fabric. So, none of this has to really be perfect per se because it's all going to be covered up anyway. So this is going to go in here. And you want to make sure to line it up with the outside edges. And I'll trim this off because I did that again a little bit long. Again, we don't want to have anything getting in the way of the fold here, so these will be a little bit short on purpose. And that's all there is to this part, the base. Okay, so like I said, I've got one here that's all dry. And now I'm going to attach my fabrics. Okay, so we've got a piece for the inside and a piece for the outside. That piece of chipboard, it does look a little dark there, so it's up to you if you want to paint that out lighter. I'm not going to worry about it because once you get your pages in there, I don't think you'll even see that, or it won't be as noticeable. Let's put it that way. So this piece will go on the inside. I tore these fabrics this time because I needed to make the job quicker and because I love the raw edges. I'm going to be probably sewing around the outside edge of my cover. I prefer to use a glue stick for this. You can use whatever you choose, but if you do use a wet glue, I would spread it out. Once you put it on, kind of spread it out to a thin kind of coat so that you won't see it once you stick the fabric down. All right, so I'm just gonna try to line these dots up kind of straight. I'll be trimming this all off, and more than likely stitching around it like I said. So I'm just trying to line up the dots so that it looks fairly straight, pretty straight. It's pretty decent. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. Okay, doesn't need to be perfect anyway, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and trim around the edges. I'm thinking I might leave just a little bit of excess because I really like the fringe on a raw edge. So I think I'm going to start with just a little bit, probably just a little over 1/8 of an inch. It's not quite a quarter. All right, so that'll be the inside cover. It's so cute. All right, so when I put on the outside fabric, I like to put down one side, okay, and then pick it up and drape it around as it's folded so that it doesn't pull too taut. Yep, now we have the cover on. So now I'm just going to trim around this one, same way I did before. And I'm going to cut it the same size that I cut the inside fabric. And save your little pieces because you know you can do some fun things with those little bits in your journal. I just love these colors. They're so bright and happy and make me look forward to spring. And of course, you don't have to stitch yours if you don't want to. Just gluing it is fine. You do whatever makes you happy. But I am going to use the sewing machine on mine. You can also hand stitch it if you want to do that. Here's my cover all stitched around the edge. So I just did some messy stitching right where that excess fabric was. So I changed my mind about where I was stitching. I decided to stitch on top of the file folder instead of leaving some of this fabric overhanging, and I'll tell you why in just a second. I'm just trimming off the excess fabric now. Okay, yay. All right, the reason I wanted to make it flush is I forgot all about something that I wanted to use on my journal this time. And that's some cute little corners, little book corners. So I couldn't do that with the excess fabric overhanging. So look how cute that's going to look on there. Isn't that cute? I love it. All right, so I have some little pliers here. So all I'm going to do is just slip that over the corner, and then I'm just going to press it, kind of keep it next to the edges, and press it gently with the pliers to kind of crimp it on there. Just pressing it lightly, and then I'll go around and press it lightly again to tighten it. It's cute, very cute. Go. That's good. That's snug. I love that having the corners on. We're going to use the little check register, and all I'm doing is taking out the staples and separating the pages into 2 signatures. I'm doing that to give the book a little bit of room to bulk up a little as we add things throughout the year. So this first signature that I have here is 3 pages. And the second signature will be 4 pages because there's a total of 7 in this check register. So, and it's just enough spreads for us to do, you know, 1 spread every month. So that's going to work out just fine. And the reason these have colored papers in them already is because, you know, typically I will make a prototype journal and show you guys what it's going to look like in the end and all. And those things take a lot of extra time. And so I thought I would just not make a prototype. But what I was doing was just using some scraps of painted papers. Okay, these are jelly prints from a long time ago, and just painted papers, and some pages where I'm using up paint off of a brayer, and, you know, just a mishmash of stuff. That's what this is. So I want to make 2 signatures to go inside this book. Now, you can make 1 signature if you want to, but I have found before that the book starts to come apart as we start adding things, and I just don't want my book to fall apart. So I'm going to have 2 signatures in this little spine. And rather than sew them this time, I'm going to tie them in with some baker's twine. So all I'm doing here is just running this all the way around the book, and I'm going to just tie both of them next to one another. I'm just going to tie it in a bow. Just like that. And then because it's just tied around the book, you can move it, push it around anywhere, and you can get that little bow positioned wherever you want it to be on the outside. So I'm going to move this over. That'll be where my first signature goes. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And just go around the book and tie a bow. I think this is going to be really cute. And also, it's going to be perfect for holding in these little signatures. Now, you can sew them if you want to. You will have a little bit of a thicker area to go through since we did stabilize that spine a little bit. Okay, so see, we have places for 2 signatures now. And then we got these cute little bows on the outside that just kind of dress up the journal. I think that's so cute. And the little corners are fun. It's something I haven't done in a Mixed Media Morsels journal before, so I thought that would be really cool. So then I'm just going to open up my signature here to the center and slide it in. And I'll take the other signature and slide it in. Here we go. I took the cover off of mine, but if you want to leave it on, you can, and then you'll have 4 and 4 pages in your signatures. The covers are not much thicker than the pages. A little bit, but not a lot. So if you want to use that as a page, you certainly can. So that's how the journal is going to come out. Now, if you're wondering why the cover is so much wider than the book, the reason for that is we're going to make some cute little edges for all of these pages. And those will stick out just a little bit, and then the cover will protect the edges and keep them from getting bent or dinged up or anything. So I think that's going to be really fun. I just love this little journal already. We just got it together and I love it already. Also, I wanted to say that if you choose not to sew your journal around like I did and leave the raw edges, you can fold over your fabric, and that way you don't have a raw edge. So it's up to you, whatever you like. So since we're going to be putting cute little borders on the edges of our pages, I'm calling next year's series Mixed Media Morsels Edgewise. By the end of the year, when we have a full little journal, kind of like now how we have a nice chunky full little journal from all of our morsels of the year, we're going to have a full journal with 12 different page edges. And we can use it as a reference type of journal. So if we're creating a junk journal, any journal, and we want to put a cute little edge on the page, we can grab this book and use it for our own inspiration. I think it'll be very handy to have. So this kit is going to contain everything that you saw me using when I was putting my journal together. So you've got 2 pieces of fabric, the inside and the outside piece. And these are, generous pieces. You're going to have little leftover bits to use because there's plenty here to cover your journal and then have a little extra. All right, then we're also going to have the file folder pieces that I showed you. This one is already folded where the file folder is naturally folded. And then all you'll need to do is fold it again on the outermost score line. And then that will make your spine. Okay, and this is the piece you're going to add to the inside of the spine to stabilize it. And remember, after you get your your book cover folded, you'll be able to see if this is going to fit in there just right or not. And you may need to trim it down just a tiny bit. You also get the 2 pieces that go on the inside to stabilize the cover and make it nice and firm. All right, so all of that is included, as well as a checkbook register. When we used a checkbook register one year for Mixed Media Morsels Motivations, I kind of remember everybody really enjoying using these little checkbook registers. It was just the most fun. Then I've got the 2 pieces of the baker's twine and also a packet of 4 of the metal corners for your cover. So all of that will be included in the kit. And then I also have a little packet of goodies just to use to create in your junk journal with. All right, so to start with, we got a cute little bag. I love these little bags. And there is a little wooden button, and all the buttons will vary, from kit to kit, so you may not receive that color. This also will vary. This is a piece from a calendar, and I thought it would be fun to have little bits of color. So you may not even use this as flowers. You might just use it as adding color somewhere. So that those two items will vary from kit to kit. I love this sticker sheet. I love all these colors. I love the flowers. They are little faux postage stamps. They're just so cute. I just love them so much. All right, we have a playing card. Got a pretty colorful feather pattern on the outside. And then I've got several pieces of different book papers. And they're just papers that I find interesting. Like this one has Asian text on it, which is really cool and different. And then this one has the Greg shorthand on it. And then this one has math equations. It's just something different and fun. I think these items will be fun to create with and use them in our journals. What I'd like for us to do is actually make a junk journal this time and really just junk it up and just make it fun and so easy and doable, and just stick things in, even things that don't match, just to make it fun. To me, that's the whole purpose of creating and journaling is just to have a good time and to be creative and have fun while you're doing it. So I thought little bits of papers and stickers and things like that would be really fun to add to a junk journal. And if you don't have these particular types of items, this will be fun to come to you in the kit. So you can get a kit if you want and get started early, or you can just simply use your own supplies and get started early and make a little journal. The measurements for my journal are all included, you saw in the instructions, and so you can just get a jump start and start getting ready for next year. So I'm looking forward to another whole year of fun, even though it seems to fly by anymore. But I'm very much looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too. We will get started with Mixed Media Morsels Edgewise on January 15th. We'll see you again soon in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.